there's some of my siblings that I would rather not see again. Um, they just they just don't get it.
This is Sherry Waynes, a caregiver for her husband who suffers from Parkinson's and dementia. This is how she feels about some of her siblings and their actions and behavior towards her and her husband after the diagnosis and caregiving began. She even had more to say.
There's been I come from a very large family. I have 11 brothers and sisters, and I would say that out of the 11 brothers and sisters, um, there's probably just a few that would or could help. Others say, "Oh, well, you take care of yourself," or when I start talking to them, "Well, I don't know what to say." They show very little or um, no interest in helping me, and that has been very hurtful.
One issue we see with Sherry's story is the will for family to help. Another issue we see is the communication between the affected parties. Debbie Thomas, a senior case manager with Sage Care Advisors, has experience helping families execute successful communication plans.
So when tensions are rising among family members, one way to help mitigate the issues is to try to focus more short term. It's very easy for families to start to jump to what needs to happen in a week, a month, a year, 5 years. An example of that would be, I'm working with a client right now who's, she's currently, their mother is in the hospital at Bryn Mawr. And the family is very worried. She had a stroke and she has memory issues. The family is very worried about what her next step look like. She's living independently in Wayne, but they realize that this is probably not a reality for very much longer. And I did a conference call yesterday with the 3 siblings. One's in New York, 2 are local. And very quickly, the conversation started to turn towards, we got to sell the house. We've got to she does have a will in place. We need to get that on the market. And you could see the tensions with the siblings rising. And so I redirected and I said, we need to focus. Let's just focus for now on the next 12 hours. Your mom just had a stroke. We don't know, we haven't had a neurology input. We don't know how long she's going to be in the hospital. Let's really try to stay focused to what is the information we need from the physicians right now to determine what the next steps are.
Lots of Helping Hands, a website designed to help families create schedules to help with communication surrounding caregiving, so that caregivers firstly receive help from family at all, and secondly, the schedule can help to plan all of the things Debbie Thomas was talking about, in terms of planning in weeks or months so that tensions don't rise. It helps focus on the short-term needs rather than the long-term. Lisa Smirk, a nurse care manager and caregiver herself, sees value in a website like Lots of Helping Hands.
I think this is an excellent idea because I used to have everyone calling me and emailing me, even though they had it in writing. What time do I have to be there? Was that, well, I'm managing a full household, a job, full-time job, and mom and dad's agenda. And you're asking me times. So I would just say, go to the website and look at the times. So this would have been wonderful for really keeping a family organized, because not everyone lives there. So you have to, especially, or even a community group too, not only just a family. Anybody making caregiving or, any kind of situation would be very beneficial.
Matt McCabe, the managing director for Lots of Helping Hands, found with research that the website helps most often when it comes to siblings and their connection to the caregiving, especially when they are not in close proximity to the caregiving itself.
It often helps the most, again from our research, is especially with siblings who might be living out of state or out of the city, who might have very strong opinions. But one, those opinions often come from them feeling disconnected. This allows them to feel a little more connected. And it also allows them to have some ownership, let's say, and okay, I can help think through how to coordinate out of state help, right? Get a meal delivered. I mean, things you can do without being in close physical proximity. We look at the dashboard, talk about there's a feed, much like any social media platform. The feed displays messages we call announcements, which are broad-based communications to all the members of the community. There are photos, videos, things like that. Well, what we call, there's a well wishes function that's just encouragement, right? Thinking of you, praying for you, love you. Oh, here's a fun video you love of Johnny's basketball game, right? And then tasks can come up in that feed too. They don't come up automatically. The user has to choose, because you might add 20 tasks and you don't want that to bury the feed.
This is Lots of Helping Hands and how it works. Since its launch in 2005, it has grown to where it is currently helping over 125,000 active monthly users coordinate care by building connections. Connections and communication that, as Debbie Thomas said earlier, can bring family members of a person living with dementia together to manage the day-to-day care tasks for their loved one. Better connections and communication can reduce disagreements and lessen the tensions of dementia caregiving for the primary family caregiver.